Howdy everyone, I'm back again and it's time for another time out, I think. And this is the end of the week, so I am sticking to my guns on the subject matter for the week. I started out on Monday discussing just a little bit about the word yes, and then I followed up on the word no, and here I am on the last day of this series talking about the word maybe. Now I have to tell you that we could go on and on and on for a long time talking about these words in and of themselves and how they impact our lives and what they mean in many different ways and formats and fashions. And I just realized I'm kind of talking with an accent right now. I sometimes do that. I go into my natural accent, which is kind of southern. So let me just sort of back up here a second. I didn't sleep much last night, so I fall into that from time to time. Anyway, I realized that, I think of things and I can, when you only have like 10 to 15 minutes to talk about something, then, it's not a whole lot of time. It's not a lot of time to explore or even share a whole lot of ideas. But I realized on Wednesday when I posted the video about no that there was some more ideas I could talk about in reference to the word no. Like, for example, I remembered just the idea of the terrible twos. Kids who are going through the terrible twos, and parents also, and the kids are saying no, 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 and they're screaming at the top of their lungs. They're using the word no in a fashion that's trying to turn things around for them so they can get their way, so they can get the parents to say yes and approve of whatever it is they want. So if they learn to sit down and start screaming and throwing a hissy fit and saying no, no all the time, then they figure that they'll get their way. And you have to grow through that terrible twos thing. So I was realizing that the word no has a positive impact in some regards when people use it as a manipulation tool to get to that word yes. Anyways, I didn't say that on the other videos, so I wanted to not forget to share that with you today as we get started on today's word, which is maybe. And maybe to me is a really interesting culmination, middle ground, if you would, towards going to no or going to yes. Maybe kind of falls in the middle. And I guess in some regard, it can be a word that inspires a little hopefulness towards getting the answer that you're looking for. So if someone says maybe, they're not really saying yes and they're not really saying no to you. Isn't that right? So what does that mean? Well, it means there's a possibility. And possibilities are good because it kind of tends to keep you on the edge of your seat and grasping towards possibility and positivity and potentiality, and that there might be an opportunity to go forward with whatever the question is that you're looking to get answered, yes or no, maybe. You're asking for a raise, for example, at your job. Maybe makes you think, okay, well, they didn't say no, so there's hope that if I waited out a little longer, I might get there and get that raise. And wouldn't that be nice? It isn't exactly no, and it isn't exactly yes. So it's kind of a mixed review when you think of it, the word maybe, because you kind of are stuck in limbo, aren't you? You're going down the middle lane and you're just waiting. Wait a while. Hurry up and wait. We've talked about these phrases before, and this maybe kind of puts you in that position where you're not exploring the yes and the no. You're just sort of waiting for what the answer will be in hopes that it will lead you to where you want to go. And if it doesn't, what do you do then? I guess I have mixed feelings about the word maybe. I don't know how any of y'all feel about that, but I do see it as something that we can cling to And we all need to have something to cling to when we're not exactly where we want to be, right? This year, 2020, there's just no doubt that many, many people are not where they want to be. They're not going where they want to go. They're having to change their minds, change their plans, cut out things from their life and question everything. And you don't know who to trust. You don't know who to believe. You don't know what's real and what isn't real, what's true and what's false. You know, you can only speculate and have opinions and, you know, feelings about things and first impressions about things. It's really crazy. But it's like no other time that I can remember in my lifetime anyway. So I know that maybe gives me an opportunity to say, okay, let me step back a second. It wasn't the answer that I really was looking for, but it gives me a possibility to say, okay, let me think about this for myself just a little bit longer. So maybe gives you an opportunity to think about what it is you really want and what you're asking for, and also to evaluate the circumstance that you're in and whether or not you want to continue down that path or switch and go down another path, which is all individual and it's different for everybody, and it's only a decision that you can make. So you might be asking a question of someone else that might help turn things around for you, but if they give you the word maybe, or definitive no, then you have some more thinking to do, it seems like to me. So maybe gives you an opportunity to think further on the circumstance or the question at hand and really reevaluate where you stand and where your core really lies in reference to how you're going to move forward with or without having the answer to this question become what you want it to be. And I don't know if that makes any sense, but to me it makes sense to the extent that, okay, I didn't get my answer, so what if I don't get the answer that I want? Maybe puts me in that position to say, okay, let me think about that a little further. That's what I'm trying to get at. I get to say, okay, so what is plan A? What is plan B? Maybe even plan C all the way to plan Z. I don't know. But, you know, you have to know where you stand on any given situation when someone else is giving you an answer that impacts your life. Whether that be yes, no, or maybe. And so I'm thinking, maybe is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to say, okay, let me step back and think and reevaluate and assess where I'm at with this. What do I really want out of this? I thought I might have known what I wanted out of this when I entered it. Now let me rethink that again because I didn't get the answer that I was looking for, although I didn't not get the answer I was looking for either. But where will I go if the answer doesn't turn out to be what I think it should be or what I want it to be? And that brings me back to that idea of, you know, be careful what you pray for, because sometimes you think you want something and it turns out there's all kinds of reasons why you shouldn't have gone there. But sometimes on hindsight, you just, you know, you didn't know that at the time. So maybe, the word maybe, gives you time to really think about that again. And so those are a few ideas wrapped around, you know, the word maybe. I don't know if it really makes a whole lot of sense to a lot of people, but I'd certainly be interested in learning about how other people feel about it. I just feel it's middle of the road, you know, and I'm a kind of a moderate kind of guy. I try to keep middle ground. I know that's kind of a Buddhist philosophy in a way, in a very Western society. Some people might not understand that, but you know, I once had a friend who told me that everything in moderation is pretty good. You know, don't go too extreme one way or too extreme another way. So you got no over here, yes over here. You got the left, my right. You know, it's like even in our politics, we got the far left and the far right, you know, Democrats, Republicans. You always got this or that, them versus us and us versus them. So maybe falls right in the middle, where you can take a moment to see both sides of things and decide for yourself what you want. And maybe the answer doesn't necessarily have to come from someone else. No one has to give you that permission. But when they give you that answer, when you're asking for something, and it comes back a maybe, that's an opportunity. Like I said, step back, reassess, reevaluate, have a plan B, C, and D, and really assess what's important to you and how you want to move forward should the answer be one way or the other. In this case, it's right in the middle, and it's basically wait a while. So maybe a little extra time wouldn't hurt, but if you're falling in the middle of something, it's the middle way, and it's moderate, and you can see more sides of the story. You can think more objectively about the big picture and what the answer is that you really need to look for, rather than what your heart might be asking you to look for or your mind might be saying to you. You know, it really takes things into consideration, the word maybe. I guess that's what I'm really trying to say. And whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm just throwing the ideas out there this week about these three words: yes, no, and maybe. And if you have any observations, experiences, or thoughts or ideas you want to share, please leave them in the comment box below. And if you did like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And we can continue more conversations later down the road. I'm here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so share it with your friends. And until next time, I hope you have a great day and a great weekend. I'll see you later, everybody.